Minnesota's Jessie Diggins made history earlier this year when she became the first American cross-country skier to win an individual world title. But as she gets ready to enter a new World Cup season later this week, her goals have shifted a little bit. And Heidi's here to talk about that. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Jana. Yeah, in a conference call today, Jessie said she has no expectations for the season other than to be happy and healthy. Jessie has been open about how after 12 years of recovery, she had a relapse with her eating disorder this summer. She hopes by sharing her story, it will help others feel less alone.
Olympic champion cross-country skier Jessie Diggins is making no promises for the season.
We're all human and we're doing the best we can every single day. So this season, I'm focusing on just doing my best, taking it one day at a time and one race at a time.
The 32-year-old's perspective comes after a relapse this summer.
Mental health is physical health. So eating disorders are not a behavioral choice. It's mental health. It makes me feel really vulnerable putting myself out there because everyone knows something really big about me. But at the same time, I'm trying to change the culture of sport for the better so that we can change the way that we talk about and address mental health.
A big change from when she was 18.
I thought it was just my fault. When I went to the Emily program, I learned so much.
We know that athletes who are at elite level of performance like Jessie is are at a higher risk for an eating disorder. And so their care teams, their coaches, their whole support teams really need to be aware of the risk factors.
Jillian Lampert, Chief Strategy Officer for the Emily program, says recovery is not linear. Jessie is an ambassador for the Twin Cities-based eating disorder treatment program.
We had people who messaged us and said, hey, I saw what Jessie said, and I think maybe I need to come back to care too, or maybe I could get care for the first time. People think of eating disorders, they see Jessie and they maybe think of women's sports, that eating disorders impact people of all genders, of all ages, and lots of eating disorders, most eating disorders are not visible, so people can't see that somebody's struggling, and I think that's really important, particularly as we move into this holiday season where there's so much emphasis on food and appearance and everything else, that really checking with people like, how are they? How are they really?
Jessie is making her mental health a priority during a busy season of life that includes the World Cup in Minneapolis next year.
This is something that a lot of athletes struggle with, is this question of, will you love me even if I don't win? Because all the time you're told like, oh, I cheer for you, I hope you win. It's easy to start internalizing that and thinking maybe that's where my worth lies. And maybe I'm here only because of results. And that's not true. And it's important to see the bigger picture.
Jillian at the Emily program says one of the hardest parts of treatment is making that first phone call, whether it's to a family member, friend, or a place like the Emily program. She encourages people to make that call, Jana.
Jessie's been talking about her journey for 5 years, and she is loved because of that. And I'm an even bigger fan than I ever was. She has a lot of courage to keep talking about it.
Yep, she's incredible. And the story that you did with her back in 2018, we'll have that linked as well at KARE11.com.
All right. Thanks so much, Heidi. We appreciate it. Well, coming up.